place we're going to go to is down in Costa Rica and Nicaragua. The whole evolution of the entire Central America started in Lake Managua and Lake Nicaragua. And besides this area of Nicaragua, in here you're talking about rivers that only have 90 miles, because this is all the Central American mountain range running right through Central America. It's been 2 or 3 times covered up with water. And these things have such small distributional areas because your average river in these thinner countries is maybe 30 to 45 miles long. So their habitat is rather short. You see some of the major river systems there. Here I basically counted out how many types of cyclosome are found in the 4 different provinces, tropical fish provinces. Of course, it's too high to grow fish up here. It's all cloud forest. But once you get down into the lower lakes, this is Lake Nicaragua. You know, that's all citronellus, Cichlids, hogaboomerums, rostratums. This is a typical catch out of one boat that a guy takes out for 3 or 4 hours. And like I said, you find the citronellum, labiatus. Those are some lips. You don't see that too much in the trade. Generally, people that want to maintain lips are putting marbles or a very large, not a pea-sized gravel, larger sized gravel, because basically those lips are for crushing snails. That's their job. That's what they do in the lake. Managuensis, you can see they're filleted. As I said, they're all food fish. Dovies, that's really good meat if you have ever had one. And now we're going to go down into the rivers itself. As I said, we're up here in the cloud forest. The altitude's around 6,000 to 7,000 feet. There are no cichlids. It's too cold to support life. But there's a lot of other neat things to do. So on our way down all the mountains, because you're generally flying into the capital cities that are in the mountain ranges, I try to photograph and document everything. We're coming out with a big series of videos sometime in August to September of the 4 different fish provinces. This is Lake Arenal in Costa Rica. As I said, it's the only lake there. It's a man-made lake. You're looking at Dovii jaws. You can see the size of the teeth on those. Those were roughly 1-inch canines at the very front.
1-inch canines on a Dovii.
And but being it's a man-made lake, that's all trees under there. You think you're looking at water? I mean, we're casting into the branches of dead trees. So it becomes difficult to cast net, but there's no other way to get fishes out, so you just work all day.
Skip, you better tell all your friends, baby.
Dovii is one of our biggest selling fish. I can't believe how many people want this thing because it's meaner than hell. It gets so big, and I think they want it because they want to end up with puppy dog, one in their tank, because they have extremely good personalities when they're kept one to a time. There's the world record at 28 pounds, the one at the top.
28 pounds?
Yeah, that's a fish.
Wow.
Managuense jaguar is another predatory fish found in Lake Arenal, which is just south of Lake Nicaragua. This is Nicaraguensis. There's 2 or 3 types. This is going to get a new name. It wasn't the other type species.
Better hit that subscribe button.
This little fish, Septum fasciatus, the archocentris. A lot of hobbyists want to start out with these things because they're little. They never get about 4 to 5 inches on the males, 3 to 3.5 on the females. But they're getting very difficult to find because they're disappearing in nature. This is an unidentified fish out of Lake Arenal, out of the Alferi complex. And of course, it's really great at night. There's a bar at the bottom of the mountain, of the volcano, and if you have too many beers, you wonder, is that lava going to come down and get you? But it only makes it halfway down the mountain. But it erupts around 200 times a day. Wow. It's the most active volcano in our hemisphere. Of course, now we're going to go into the lakes. This is the Rio San Juan, which is the border of Nicaragua and Costa Rica. It runs all the way from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean. Generally, this is what my guys take out. We have a farm down there, you see in a minute. This is a typical set of equipment they'll go out to catch for the day. We try to find these canoes because we fill them up with water, and everything that my guys cast net out, that's a tuba, they'll put into that boat, and they can hold it for several hours that way. Or you can take bait buckets along, but casting into these streams, it's tough. These are fast fish. River fish are really zoomers. They've got that shape that's hydrodynamically shaped so they can really swim fast. So for every 10 casts, you might get 2 or 3 fish that are worthy. But it's a lot of fun. It's rewarding when you do get them, especially if it's a native species. Again, this is Cichlids. Most people don't see this one with the yellow belly. It's a new variant that's out. Statahuros alpharai, you don't see in the trade because even though it doesn't look that mean, it's an extremely aggressive animal. It disappeared for a few years, and once stuff are off the market for 2 or 3 years, all the people want it back again, whether it be a new crop of hobbyists or the fact that it just becomes rare. Everything cycles. I don't care what cichlid it is or from what country in the world it's from. This is a new rostratus that we collected out of the Rio Heredia.
One of my favorites.
Most rostratus don't get quite the humps that these do. Docile fish, substratum sifter, gets to be about 8 or 9 inches, and it won't really harm much of all.
Coming to you live.
This is the true Necroguensis from the holotype. It's a very docile fish. You can see the small mouse, small fat mouse, generally mean and non-aggressive animals. Here's a pair hiding their eggs down